Hello, Clarice.
It's alive! It's alive!
We accept one of us.
I kick ass for the Lord.
I want to play a game.
They're here.
It's showtime.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Three Basket Cases podcast. I am Jay, and with me is Frank and Peter, and we are doing a slasher today. We are doing Hatchet from 2006, and Peter's going to be doing the walkthrough, so take it away, Peter.
All right. So to start off, I don't know what you can say about a movie that opens with Freddy Krueger, smoking a pipe, gator fishing in the bayou, trash talking his son, who's played by Josh from Blair Witch Project.
There was a lot of cameos in this, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, right out of the gate, we're going. Throws a few queer jokes about his son for some reason, and then he has his insides ripped out off camera. I'd prefer on camera, but I'm not
Yeah.
going to fault this movie for that quite yet. So his son Ainsley comes back from a pee, which his dad assumes he would have to squat for. I don't know why he's all over his son with this, but I'm like,
There's a lot of gay jokes in
lot
the
of gay, like easy
mid
dudes.
2000s.
Yeah.
A lot of movies had that in them.
2000
Yes,
to 2010,
so.
that was just the humor.
Yeah, and
right.
Freddy Krueger took the ball and ran with it, I suppose. But he comes back to a bloody mess of his dad, and he has his arm pulled off and is ripped in half by something or someone. So the name Ainsley, actually, I'm not going to lie, threw me a bit, but I thought it was a good opening. The movie immediately establishes itself as like old school American horror, which was actually on the poster.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, after the awful remakes, PG-13 remakes of like The Fog, The Boogeyman, and Prom Night that came out around that time, I personally was saying thank Christ to see some gore, good old fashioned like limbs and ripped off and organs yanked out.
This was definitely like an 80s slasher with better, I guess, practical effects.
Yeah, and it came at a really good time. There's only so many horror movies I can watch that are made for a 13-year-old. Right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this movie was definitely, when I saw it for the first time, it opened my eyes a bit because I hadn't seen anything like this in quite some time. We had fallen into that whole realm of Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer and movies of that ilk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need everything to be Terrifier, but let's keep the target audience north of puberty, man. That's
Right.
my take on it. Side note, the organs thrown against the tree at the opening scene I thought was pretty funny. Like, I understand throwing him against a tree, but he threw his heart against the tree. Okay.
There's a few things that Victor Crowley does that are just for him.
Absolutely.
He's enjoying himself.
So we know from the opening we're going to get a lot of gore, and we know this isn't going to take itself too seriously, so I'm in. What do you guys think of the opening overall?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's always good seeing Robert Englund, and I like that they established you're getting gore, you're getting crude humor, and we're just bringing it back to like the 80s. I enjoyed it.
Speaking of,
It's off to a real fast start, so
yeah, no doubt.
perfect.
Speaking of, we're off to Bourbon Street for a montage of partying boobs.
Yep.
And a lot of them. So along with the gore, there's going to be nudity. True 80s throwback. I mean,
If
I
you
kinda
remember
been-
like Girls Gone Wild videos, it was kind of just like one of those.
it was exactly that.
Yeah, well, the two girls and the quote-unquote director, that was definitely a callback to Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no doubt. So in this scene at the beginning, they did manage to actually close down Bourbon Street for it, which is a pretty impressive feat for a movie of this budget.
Yeah, it was a pretty low budget movie, right?
Yeah, and also it is the last production shot in New Orleans before Katrina hit shortly thereafter. I've been to New Orleans a number of times. I fucking love that city. I rented a bike probably about 5 years ago and biked all through the Ninth Ward. It's still a total disaster. But wah, wah. So we now meet our leads, Ben and Marcus. They're with a group of like bros partying in New Orleans. One of the guys in the group was actually Adam Green, the director.
Okay.
He has one line. And
Was he
then
the guy they said threw up 6 times?
No, but that was a producer.
Okay.
That was the guy who had big ass beer.
Okay.
Adam Green had the pot necklace on.
Oh, yes, he did. That's right.
Yeah.
So Ben isn't into partying or boobs at the moment. There's a throwaway story about breaking up with his long-term girlfriend, which, I'm going to file into who cares, honestly. But it does create an excuse for them to go, or him want to go on a haunted swamp tour, and he convinces Marcus reluctantly to go along with him. He does join, but he says this.
No, I'm going with you. It's cool.
Thanks, man. Buddy, you're gonna be so psyched you did this.
I think I'd rather skin my own dick.
Marcus had a good run in The Cosby Show, too.
Oh, did he?
He had 32 episodes of The Cosby Show, I guess.
Oh, wow.
And he was in your favorite movie, Jay, Scream 3.
Okay, yeah, Scream 3, which, if we ever do this, I'm going to absolutely destroy.
I'm going to contradict you on that and bring the average up a bit.
Is this going to be our first fight on the show?
Could be. It could be.
Listen, Marcus was in Not Another Teen Movie, and that's a classic.
I haven't seen
I think he played the character whose title was Token Black Guy.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah. And I think it was him and... Was it him and Omar Epps met each other? And they were like, there can't be two token black guys in this movie.
You might recognize Ben if you've seen Grandma's Boy.
Yeah, JP.
Yeah, I really like Grandma's Boy.
Yeah,
he's great.
I remember that you do.
Will you sit on my face?
Fantastic.
Please sit on my face.
That was not appropriate.
So they go to the swamp tour office, and speaking of, they get a cameo from Candyman, who says he doesn't do swamp tours anymore because someone hit their head and he was sued. I might break with a bunch of people here, but I thought his performance had all the talent and nuance of a middle school play. I could have done without it. Am I being a little bitch here?
I thought the back and forth was kind of funny because he's making it sound like something like scary and traumatic happened. And he's like, yeah, somebody bumped their head and sued. Like, you think it's going to lead to like a monster story or something. So I laughed at the end of his thing.
Did he overact though?
Well, yeah, but I thought, I don't know. I thought it was so campy. It was funny. Like I was kind of like smiling through it.
This movie definitely, it towed the line of being a little too campy, but then it would pull it back to where the characters were playing it straight. And if it went a little bit further, it wouldn't have been nearly as enjoyable.
Yeah.
Agree.
I think Tony Todd was a little much, but he was in there such a short amount of time that it actually worked.
I'm going to give it a C- for him.
Okay.
But that's fine.
I mean, it's acceptable. He's in Candyman and like 15 sequels to Candyman.
Yeah, I appreciate his accomplishments.
And he's in all the Final Destination movies.
Yes, he is as well. Anyhow, they end up at the place that is actually doing the swamp tour, and there we have Misty and Jenna, who are shooting a Girls Gone Wild type thing, as you said, called Bayou Beavers, with a director, doing air quotes for those on YouTube, Doug Shapiro. It's actually, I just thought when my cousin actually worked at Girls Gone Wild for a bit out of college, he would have some stories of that for another podcast. Apparently the guy was a wicked douchebag, but...
I can't believe somebody who worked at Girls Gone Wild was a douchebag.
Right? I'll have to double check with him on that, I think. Anyhow, these ladies deliver just enough dialogue to let us know they will certainly die, but they will be a fun addition. No
Definitely
doubt.
not the final girls.
No, they're in every horror
cannon
movie.
fodder here.
Yeah, no doubt. And we have the swamp tour guide, Sean, who Marcus describes as a cross between Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker, and Emerald Lagasse. I'd throw in a little Kevin Federline, but I think that kind of nailed it.
He was one of my favorite characters in the movie.
We'll get into him a little bit later.
Yeah.
So they get on the bus and we come to my favorite character, Jim and Shannon. Jim is Tom from Office Space, who, of course, is awesome.
The jump to conclusions, Matt guy.
Yes. He gets mauled by a truck. He says, "This is the best day of my life," or something like that, because he gets to not work in the office. I kind of get it. So there's also with these two, there's a side plot of the two of them being like wicked racist, but it played a bit too mean with test audiences, so they took it out of the final movie, and it's not there at all. But knowing this, it does explain the look she gives Marcus as he gets on the bus.
Okay.
He walks by her on the seat. She's like, "Oh, I don't know about that." It's pretty good. And rounding out the Hatchet fodder, we get some moody hot girl who's got something going on. I think this movie elevates itself quite a bit because the writing is pretty funny when it lands and the nudity and gore isn't hitting. And I think we got something to kind of explain the irreverence a bit here.
I'm Ben.
Mary Beth.
Mary Beth, that's a great name. Because it's actually two names, you know. Most people just have one, and that's kind of boring. Ben. But Mary Beth, it's, you know, it's Mary and it's Beth. That's a nice coat.
I could have listened to that for about 7 hours.
That's a nice coat part. Always kills me every time.
And Marcus is hilarious during the whole thing.
Yeah, they keep
Just
cutting
the
to
side
him.
eyes and the comments and everything.
Marcus
Just
is great in this movie, by the way.
You know who would have been good? Who was in the Ricky Glore movie that we did? The pizza guy?
Oh my God, yeah, the pizza guy.
I want pizza. You know that feeling when you want pizza and you just want to eat bad, you know? Yeah? Like, ooh, I shouldn't, but I'm going to. I'm going to right now. Like, ooh, it shouldn't go in my mouth, but I want it. And I need it. It's like, ooh, I just want a little small bite. Not the whole thing. Just a little nibby nib, you know? Yeah. Like, oh.
My God.
Yeah, yeah.
So they head off to the swamp with a little non-threatening little ditty playing. The director wanted something that had no association to danger, I guess, to contrast what was happening. But I think he nailed it. Do we have a little bit of that to get a touch of it?
Love it.
It's
sounds like an old
classy.
John Wayne Western.
Yeah.
Actually, you're right. That's exactly what it sounds like. So we get there, and we have some Misty and Jenna boobs being filmed before the random guy in the rowboat shows up. Starts yelling, "The swamp is closed, and you're all gonna die." Kind of very...
Did you know who that was?
Yep. Take it away.
John Carl Beekler.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
He
Jack
was-
Cracker, or, from Terror Vision and Friday the 13th Part 7, a couple other movies we reviewed.
Was he
Oh,
in
wow.
TerrorVision?
He
Buechler?
did the special effects.
No, he did not. I didn't even know that. And we
How
did a
did you not
deep dive
know?
on
We
it.
did the review, Peter.
I don't know. I must have been drunk. I don't know. So yeah, he is the makeup artist on the movie. Obviously, we all know he reunited with Kane Hodder as Victor Crowley, and Kane Hodder made his debut as Jason Voorhees on Friday the 13th Part 7, which Buechler directed, which we cover extensively in Friday the 13th 7 episode. So they can't hear him, they take off, and then he drinks his own urine.
He sure does.
Is that funny?
Well, they joked about him being a hillbilly who drinks his own urine. You're like, oh, there's a hillbilly stereotype. But then he does drink his own urine. So you're like, oh, it wasn't a joke. He really does.
I thought it was a little funny.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, all right.
But-
That landed for me.
Yeah, it was like a curveball because you thought they were just being like stereotypical. And then
Yeah, then he
actually did
pulls out the hospital jug full of urine.
it. Yeah.
I mean,
It's
you
kinda
think it'd
funny
be
that a
like you'd
hospital
think it'd be
jug.
like a soda can, but I think it was funnier that it was in like the hospital jug.
Yeah, yeah.
Where'd he get that?
He's using that as a stein.
Yeah, how'd you smuggle that out of the hospital?
Well, what a score. All right, so the boat ride goes on with a little bit too much from the tour guide. We might disagree on this guy a little bit, Jay. His jokes don't really land for me.
I think
They
it's
kind of-
supposed to not land.
I know, but they don't land in not landing. I mean, they kind of bash you over the head with his shtick. It wasn't for me. I think he fell more than most. But Misty and Jenna save it a bit. Do we have their lines?
Yeah.
Okay, your woo is so not in the moment. Yeah, well, your nipples are dumb.
Boom. I'm going to give that one to Misty.
So the tour guide is doing this really over the top fake Creole accent
Y'all hear that?
for like 15 straight minutes. But then when he gets pissed off, he goes into his real, like, thick Chinese accent,
Guys, would you just let me do my job? 死吧婆，成日走講緊嘢。
which retroactively makes the whole Creole accent funny.
It cracked me up when he went into the Chinese accent.
Yes, it made it so
it
much
cracked
funnier.
me up. I liked it. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was fine.
And if you watch the sequels, that same actor plays a relative of this guy in parts 2 and 3. The same actor keeps getting killed, but it's a different person in that family in each movie.
Yeah, the director loved him. He's good. I mean, I know I'm wrong. People love this guy.
Like in the second movie, I
don't
think
hate
it's
him.
his brother, and it's just him with a goatee, which in itself makes it funny.
Yeah, I suppose. So after a bit of this, the boat hits a rock, starts to sink, and they have to evacuate the boat by climbing a tree that's kind of like out over the water a little bit. Before they get to shore, a gator jump up and bites off his space guy. The moody chick, her name is Mary Beth. It was tough getting every name in line for this one. It was just at the threshold where I would forget. Like under 5, I'm good.
This is where Frank excels. A
my
person
God.
could be in a movie for 5 seconds, and Frank knows their name.
Yeah, Frank knows all the extras. Whereas Jay did Hereditary. It was like 3 people. He had no idea any of that.
Like the brother, the sister, and the mom. I couldn't even get their names.
Although I did Basket Case, and I didn't know who Belial was.
I didn't either, so that's fine.
I didn't know he had a name. But anyhow, Mary Beth pulls a gun out and shoots a gator. They get to land. So we found out she has a gun because the Freddy Krueger and the Blair Witch guy from the opening are her dad and brother. And I guess she needed a ride into the woods to find them. Do we know why she didn't call the cops? I mean, they at this point need to be pretty familiar with the antics of Victor Crowley, no?
Well, because she needed to be on the boat.
I was gonna say it's the typical, oh, okay, a monster's haunting the woods and killing everybody. Sure, stupid. You know, the cops aren't gonna believe her.
She could have just said they were alligator hunting and they went missing.
Everybody in these movies
In
are
the
way too
swamp.
honest, and they have to say like a supernatural demon.
Right, I know, but it would have been like the cops have been like, okay, we'll go look for him. Jeez, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Maybe they
Actually-
drowned. We'll go look.
Yeah.
Maybe enough time hasn't gone by yet. Maybe they need to wait 2 days because it's only been a day. And the police say, okay, after 48 hours, because they make a reference like, oh, they're probably, capsized and walk into a bar or something now.
But by the way, if you watch 2 and 3 without the opening and the credits, this whole thing is like a weekend. The whole
That's
trilogy.
wild.
Yeah.
I forget 2 and 3. I haven't seen them in a very long time.
Although the final
Somehow-
girl, they switch actresses for parts 2 and 3.
Yeah, somehow she morphs into Danielle Harris.
Yes.
Yeah, the actress said that actually was great in this. She said that she wasn't super interested in doing part 2.
Well, she was
Well,
not, because part 2
From
was
what I
pretty good.
understand, what I read, Danielle Harris auditioned for the role of Mary Beth,
Yeah.
but Adam Green didn't want to cast her because he didn't want to be accused of stunt casting.
Mhm.
Which seems kind of counter to what he did throughout this movie.
Right.
With Tony Todd and Robert Englund and Kane Hodder and throwing himself in as a cameo and John Carl Beekler. So I don't understand why he wouldn't have just casted Danielle Harris coming off of Halloween 4. Because, at this point she hadn't done Rob Zombie's Halloween yet. But everybody still knew her from Halloween 4, but that was 1988. This is 2006. She hadn't really done anything in between, so it's kind of like, what's the problem here, guy?
Seemed like a
I
very
think he
weird
said he
decision.
didn't want his lead to be that. Because you're right, everyone else was in the movie, but
But it doesn't make any sense for her not to be.
yeah.
Because by that time, it's been almost 20 years.
And who the hell knows who she is? She was
Right.
like
The only
10
people
in
that
that.
knows who she is from Halloween 4 and 5.
Right.
Maybe she had a few movies in between. I really don't
And
know.
I had seen those movies 30 years ago, and I wouldn't have recognized her anyway. So I don't think as many people would have been like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they're casting
Yeah,
her."
she got a lot more hot than
Yeah,
when
yeah.
she was 10. But-
Yeah. Well, one more thing about this lead actress here, Amara Zaragoza.
Yep.
I'm looking her up on IMDb, and her name comes up as Tamara Feldman. And I'm like, well, why is her name Tamara Feldman? So I Googled, why is Amara Zaragoza Tamara Feldman? And Google gives me a response, and it says she changed her professional name to Amara Zaragoza after working with Aztec medicine man for a month to treat her MS. So
okay,
the healer
If you gave me
advised-
4,000 guesses, I would not have guessed that.
that old story.
No, not at all. The healer advised her to use her maternal grandmother's last name, Zaragoza, and drop the T in her first name so the evil spirits would not be able to track or recognize her MS diagnosis.
How did that work for her? Is she alive presently?
Yes.
With MS or without?
I presume with, because I
Okay.
don't think medicine men fix that, but this is what Google told me.
Okay. Well,
It's like the first thing that popped up, and then I Googled it again because I was like, that can't be real. I was like, no way, but it's still there. So
all right.
I don't know.
well,
Somebody prove me wrong, please, because that seems ridiculous.
That does seem ridiculous, but if it's there, it's there.
Yeah.
So
Wouldn't be our
she-
first IMDb deep dive that turned into ridiculous.
So anyhow, she has a gun because she
Yeah, go
says these are Victor Crowley's woods. They aren't safe, and they got to get out pronto. And now we come to our flashback. It's a pretty lengthy flashback. It kind of explains Victor Crowley. Not too long, I don't think. It's disfigured kid hidden away by his dad. A little like Jason Voorhees, but with a dad, not a mom thing. I did like the dad was played by Kane Hodder. I thought that was, and I thought he did a good job. He said he was attracted to the idea of playing a role without all the masks and makeup on. So.
Yeah, he was good. And the young Victor Crowley was actually a pretty woman who they put makeup on to make the deformed son.
Yeah, I read that, and then they cast her face in it, and they're like, "Oh, we've already cast your face. We're just going to use you now." But I think it would be funny to see like Kane Hodder kind of break out into do like a Hallmark movie or something. Imagine that.
That would be pretty funny.
He's only been in horror movies that I know of.
Well, he's got the face and build
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see him in like the movie about a monkey that plays baseball and like brings a town together and everybody's like cheering and clapping in unison or something. That would be amazing. I think.
Maybe a nice Christmas movie on Hallmark.
Yeah, Christmas movie, and he's the lead actor who gets the lady, or she's I'm home, I'm busy, I'm home from my busy executive job to my small town.
Yeah, he could be the small town guy.
Yeah, and he shows up, but then they flip it on its switch, and he like rips her in half and eats her.
Perfect, perfection.
He could be the baseball coach, and when they miss the pitch, he could rip them in half.
I like where we're going with this.
We should write movies.
Yeah. So at this point, they show up at his house, and kids are there because kids are awful, all of them. I think they're throwing firecrackers at his shack, one night and burn the place down. His dad comes back to all this and tries to get him out of the house with a hatchet. It is a hatchet, not an axe. I found out a hatchet is about 6 to about 12 inches stem and use one hand, and axe you have two hands. And it's 20, 40, 36 inches.
But I think the movie poster, I think, does not use a hatchet.
I think he used a double-sided axe, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And then he accidentally smashes his son's face with the hatchet, trying to cut down the door. I think this whole thing seemed wildly avoidable. I mean, the only part of the house that was on fire was the door. Do you notice that? Like,
break the window. Break the window.
Choose a window.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Anyhow, Victor Crowley died. His dad died 10 years later of a broken heart. And all of this explained nothing to me. Like, how do you die of a broken heart? And is Victor Crowley a zombie? If he died?
The longest backstory that literally explained nothing about the story.
Yeah, I'm more confused at the end of this backstory.
Yeah.
Broken heart, fine, whatever. But he died.
He burned to death, but now he is not burned to death, and he's killing everybody. So
yeah, he's super badass, and he's about to unleash a series of awesome kills. So
yes.
Here we go.
At this point, it's been like 30, 40 minutes between the opening kills. But the last 20 minutes of the movie, they cram a lot of kills in.
Yeah, and I'm hungry for them because they're good. So
yeah.
After the story, Mary Beth tells them Victor Crowley's house is right there, and we hear.
It's pretty good.
So
you know what? Until you told me he was saying "Daddy," I didn't know what he was saying.
I know from the commentary. I read the director's commentary. I didn't know it either. I didn't even know he said anything. I thought it was just the woods or something.
Yeah. Okay. So he's crying for his daddy.
Correct. So what's next is probably the best two deaths in the movie, if not the decade. My opinion.
Yeah.
So Victor Crowley charges out. He looks cool, like not Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th Part 7 cool, but good enough. But my humble opinion, don't look too closely at him or he starts to come off a bit goofy. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair.
Frank?
Yeah, sure. Okay. I mean, I thought the design was pretty great, but yeah, don't pay too much attention.
No, keep him dark and then shift your eye to something else. But he's pretty good. So he takes a hatchet and goes bananas on Jim's shoulder until he cuts him in half diagonally and throws the top right part of him over there.
He's just hacking away at his arm for a while.
And then he cuts him around the shoulder, kind of like a seatbelt.
Yeah.
It was pretty damn good. He then grabs Jim's wife by the mouth and rips her open, kind of like a Pez dispenser. And when the top half of her head is ripped clean off, her tongue is there, it's lapping around.
What a perfect analogy.
Yeah, I actually was pretty.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Pez dispenser's pretty good. It's awesome. They basically, and at this point, the director said, and rightfully so, this is a throwback to 80s horror movies. He said, I'm doing practical effects, and there's no CGI in it. There was backlash to CGI, and he's like, not in my movie. He used it to, remove a couple wires and stuff like that, but it was all practical effects, and I thought it was great. And with this death, what they did was they had a camera that went at 360 around her, and they focused on her, and Kane Hodder put both of his fingers in her mouth to kind of rip it open. And the actress was pretty cool because he was the wood's dirty, shit on his hand, and he just stuffed both his hands in her mouth. She's like, all right, let's go, that's fine. And started to rip her. And then the camera went around the back of him, and by the time the camera got to the front again, she dropped down, and they replaced her with a prosthetic, like a dummy, obviously. And then they ripped that head off.
The editing was good. The kill was good. The practical effects was awesome. I'm really glad they decided to go practical. So it looked really, really good.
You kind of had to.
But you watch this and you're like, what a goddamn shame Friday the 13th Part 7 was edited and neutered by the MPAA so much. And then 18 years later, this comes out and it's just balls to the wall.
I thought that exact same thing as I'm watching it, and I thought of it. Yeah, you're right. That's
You know,
that must kill him. But you know what? Was this unrated?
I don't think so. I think it was R.
no, I think it's R.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. So anyhow, Mary Beth does shoot Victor, and they all run off into the woods, and everybody kind of reunites, and then the movie kind of becomes a bunch of people running in the woods for a while. But Shapiro is the stray. He's the next to go. He runs right into Victor Crowley, who clearly isn't dead, and he twists his head in like a 360 until it comes clean off. Right.
Yep.
There are a lot of twist someone's head off in horror movies, but I'd say this is one of the best ones.
It is. It looked really good.
There was details to it. Like a lot of times they just go in a full circle. When this one, they're like, yeah, no, it's not going to happen. It's going to go. It's not going to be clean. It's not going to be like he's looking directly that other way. It's going to come half off and break apart. It was freaking great.
You see the skin bunch up as he's turning it. Yeah.
I was like, that's what I imagine a head coming off would look like.
Yeah.
So the remaining people start arguing about whatever, and we find out Shapiro was a senior marketing manager pretending to be a producer director, which for some reason mattered to Jenna and Misty, and they get a little pissed off.
Well, because they were showing their breasts to a guy who's not making a movie. They thought this was going to be their break into Hollywood, and it turned out it was just the pervy guy who was just filming boobs.
Yeah, but did they think Bayou Beavers was a studio-back film that would launch their career? Actually, Jenna did.
Yeah, and she's like, "This is the third time I've fallen for this."
If they're getting paid, though, I assume they're getting paid, right?
Who
If they're not getting paid, it's dicey.
I don't know. They're probably
They think they're going to get royalties off of it.
Yeah.
But anyhow, it's a little late for character development at this point. He's dead, and now that we all have a taste of blood because these murders are awesome. It's kind of like when I watched Jurassic Park, and towards the later ones, I was like, you know what? I don't want a plot. I don't want a storyline. I don't want anyone to have any dialogue. Just take 100 people, line them up in an assembly line, and take the Tyrannosaurus Rex, take them down in 1 or 2 bites, and have that be the entire movie. So at this point, Marcus starts to lose it, and he says, if anyone has any secrets, I'm going to kill you myself. To which Jenna says,
I didn't really go to NYU. It was my first choice, but I didn't get it. So I went to Hofstra.
You don't have time for this.
I thought that was really good.
yeah, no, you don't. Moments like this make the movie very entertaining and or cringy, depending on how they land.
I thought there was a lot of funny lines in this movie, and the fact that it was actually still a decent college, I think, made it even funnier.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, he went for it, and there was a lot of good stuff in here. So they then realize that they've walked in a circle and they're back at the Crowley house. How? Mary Beth and Ben decide to go into the woodshed to see if they can find other weapons. And in there she finds the body of her brother and dad. In the commentary, the director said that he flicked the lights on without the actress knowing what it is she would see, to have it be like a genuine reaction. And if you notice, the camera stayed on her for a very long time because she kind of nailed it. And, the director out agreed, said, the editor and me really wanted to cut away and turn it off, but it was so good, it just kind of worked. And he stayed on her for a really long time. I think she's a way better actress than you typically get in these movies. Her specifically, but I think everybody was good.
Yeah, the blonde started annoying me halfway through the movie. Everybody else I thought was fun and like a good character.
I think Mary Beth's whole attitude was, juxtaposed to everyone else. She was so grounded and so straight that it really worked for her character. It makes her seem like a better actress.
Right.
Yeah. And she's the one person that you want to stick with her if you're in this horror movie and be nowhere near Misty.
Yeah.
So they run back, and the other 4 are being set up for kind of like a jump scare with a raccoon in the bushes, which I thought went on a little too long. I was like, clearly it's a woodland creature about the size of a bread box. But right as that plays out, Victor Crowley kind of jumps out from the other angle, just as I'm about to say that to myself, with a sand grinder.
Yeah, it was like a belt sander.
Yeah, belt sander.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, belt sander.
And he uses it on Jenna's mouth. Kind of reminded me of Friday the 13th Part 7, where Jason comes out with the weed whacker.
Yeah, you're like, where'd you get that?
Yeah, what are you doing with this?
It's like a complicated weapon that requires a little too much preparation.
That's not even something you would have in a barn, so I don't know where he got that, but it was, it made for a good kill, but where'd you even get that?
Right, and you have the skill set to use it properly and prepare to use it?
Yeah, those things are usually wired too, I think.
Yeah, a belt sander it needs electricity.
He has about 7,000 feet of electric extension cords going back to his cabin.
All over the swamp, there's extension cords. So Sean runs for the shovel as we see Gemma's mouth hanging off of her face. Victor grabs the shovel first, swings at his leg, and he takes the bottom half of his leg clean off. Then he puts it to his neck, and he does that thing where you put your foot on the shovel as if you're going to dig, and the head comes clean off. And then he ends the scene by picking Jenna up and impaling her on the upright shovel.
All
was
good
good.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
I wonder, does like Victor Crowley think of this in advance, or is it like a rush of creativity in the moment?
I think it's like jazz. He improvises.
So is he like, I got a really good idea. I'm gonna have to get this belt sander and leave it behind a shed for access later, but I know it's there because I got something brewing with it.
I think he planned the belt sander and then he improvised everything after that.
Yeah, because he couldn't know the shovel would be there, but he's like, so he thinks quick on his feet.
Yeah.
We should all be so good at
Yeah,
our
right.
job.
The shovel is straight up. He's like, oh, this is a great opportunity right here.
It'd
Yeah,
be
I've
really
been
cool if
playing
I
with
did
this
this.
whole
I
shovel
could do
someone's
some
head
cool
off.
shit here.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do that. And now's
But
my
wait till their friends see this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if he has like Instagram and he's sending like, maybe he's friends with like Jason and Michael and he's like, dude, look what I just did. Try and top that.
Like, I wonder afterwards he's kind of a little proud of himself. Like, does he smile a little bit, or does he like, yeah, he's a little high?
He takes a selfie with it.
Yeah, that was a really, really good one. I got that. Wow. That worked out really well. And then if he just kind of like hit someone in the face with a hammer, say, so we're down to 4, and I think it's kind of pretty safe to say that the blonde porn star chick is probably the next to go.
Yeah.
Right? Surprised she's still there. So we get another attempt to explain Victor Crowley. I kind of gave up a while ago trying to figure out what he is and why, but
Yeah.
Mary Beth says this about him.
What if he's human? What if he never really died?
That thing was never human.
Well, that clears everything up.
Sure. This guy's
Oh,
even
there's
more
no human.
confusing than the Maniac Cop.
Yeah, right.
It was pretty confusing.
Yeah.
So they're figuring which way to go, and Crowley attacks him. It was a pretty good jump scare, I thought.
Mm-hmm. You got me. Yeah.
I watched this twice, and it got me both times. They all get away, run back to the shack because they decide they need to fight him head on as opposed to getting picked off one by one. Okay. Personally, I kind of like the tour guide's suggestion from about an hour ago. Like, head down to the river, keep it on your right, walk in one direction till you're out of here.
I do get that, like, if you're lost and a guy's like hunting you down, I do get the stand your ground and try and fight. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't work. They had a group of 9 and they're down to 4. I kind of get the strategy. It's not the dumbest thing I've seen in a horror movie.
No, but I also like going to the river and getting out of there. But I get it as well. I'm not going to.
I don't know. When you see what this guy is doing, I think I'd want to get out of there.
Yeah, he's like Jason Voorhees meets the Hulk, and she's Misty.
Yeah, that's true. This guy like sprints after you. Jason Voorhees like walks. This is like Jason Voorhees on steroids.
And he can rip someone's head in half horizontally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how about that? So they decide they're going to be going to get some gas cans back in the shed, and they want to light them on fire.
Because that gas is definitely going to be good.
Yeah. that doesn't. At least they didn't have a match. So Ben goes to get the gas. The other 3 stand there. They think it's too quiet, and Marcus starts kind of taunting him. And he screams out, "You look like you've been molested by wolves." I guess so. It's a decent burn, but what does that look like?
My favorite part of this is he talks trash and then he like hunches over and he looks really scared, like waiting for him to come out of the bushes. And he does that like 3 or 4 times where he like says something like tough and then he like hunches over and looks really scared. Like I thought it was really funny.
Yeah, pretty good. So the blonde is standing by herself, nowhere near the other 2, with her back to the heavy woods. I think we've all seen enough horror movies to know what's happening. And as expected, she's the next to be killed off camera. So Victor emerges. We don't see it. We just know that she's dead because Victor emerges and he throws her head at Ben, and then he throws her torso at him.
I do appreciate throwing body parts. We got that in our last episode, Dog Soldiers, too, where the werewolf throws a head at the guy. I do appreciate just throwing body parts at people.
I like the taunting aspect.
Yeah.
The what?
The
taunting aspect of.
Yeah. So he attacks Ben, and Mary Beth, being the badass that she was, she's a pretty good final girl, we'll call her that for now. She attacks Victor while Ben douses him in gas, and they light him on fire. And we have Kane Hodder doing what Kane Hodder does best, being lit on fire. Right? I think in the Friday the 13th Part 7 episode, we talked about the fact that at that point, he set a record for the longest fire scene in any movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if that still stands. It's not that long here, but it's always impressive.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a good time to watch someone catch on fire, I suppose. So it works for a second, then the rain starts in a pretty funny FU to these guys. Like, he's
Just
on
like
fire.
just like Friday the 13th Part 6.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, where he lights Jason on fire and then the thunderstorm starts.
So, and talking about other movies and throwbacks too, this is where Ben delivers a line, which I believe is said in all 3 Hatchet movies. He says, "You gotta be fucking kidding me."
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's set in the whole trilogy. Yeah.
I mean, it has to be a nod to the Thing, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it has to be.
All right. I kind of tried to look that up, and it wasn't really referenced why, but there's only one reason. That would be it. So they now spend what it seems like 4,000 hours running through the woods, which is kind of a trope of horror movies, and they kind of kept that up. And they end up at a cemetery. And in the commentary, they said that a lot of the names on the cemetery, like the caskets and whatnot, were, the director Adam Green's name was there, and the producers' names were scattered throughout the cemetery. And I actually paused it and rewound. I saw them. They are, in fact, there. While we're on this, it's kind of worth mentioning the entire Louisiana swamp and everything else. The last 4/5 of the movie was created from scratch. This whole thing was filmed in the Santa Clarita Desert area of California.
Oh wow!
And they brought the whole thing to life. And it looks a little like a really well done stage production, but I think they nailed it.
Yeah, they did a really good job. It fooled me.
For a $1.5 million budget, I mean, I think they created something really impressive on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
So Victor is not dead, and he catches up with them in the cemetery. He throws Ben to the ground, and he throws up in his mouth for some reason.
Really? That had me cringing more than any of the kills in the movie.
Yeah, that was really gross.
Yeah.
Please just pull my lung out and throw it against a tree. Don't do that, sir.
It was like this thick, white, mucusy stuff. It was so gross.
Oh, it was awful. And Mary Beth kicks his leg, and they get away. I mean, I think that Victor Crowley is insanely powerful, obviously, but I think he's got a low tolerance for pain.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's kind of easy to hurt, which does buy you a little bit of time, and it has throughout this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that much time, because then he jumps at Marcus, and he pulls both of his arms backwards, and then he swings him into the grave. Like, what movie?
Oh, God. Was that part 6 again? Right.
No, sleeping bag scene. Part 7.
Right, part 7. Yep.
Yeah, it reminded me, he took the bodies like, thwomp.
Yep.
As we discussed on that episode, a movie got butchered by the censors, but Kane Hodder said at the time that the unedited version of the sleeping bag scene was his favorite death scene he shot on camera. And he's had a few of them. I wonder if that stands, because some in this movie, I think, superior to that. So the remaining two run down to the river, and Victor takes a spike, a la Friday the 13th, part 6, and catches up and throws it at Ben's foot.
Even before that, Ben throws up because he had the mucus spit into his mouth.
And that was, you got it, Jay.
Yeah, that was real throw up. So they gave him cold clam chowder and orange juice and made him chug it, and he threw up for real.
Oh God!
I think that was the second take.
It was
the first one.
I don't know why they had to do 2 takes, but the second take he had. The first take he threw up. Somehow he threw up on his own, and then for the second take he had to have the clam chowder and orange juice.
Did he throw up the clam chowder and orange juice, or he had that so he would throw up?
I think that's the idea.
Yeah, they gave it to him to make him throw up for the second take.
Okay, I thought he had it in his mouth, and what he vomited was the clam.
No, that he chugged it. He chugged it to make himself.
So he actually throw up again. Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah. Maybe the first throw up was not convincing enough.
Maybe
he did it on his own. It didn't look thick enough. Maybe.
But the camera guy forgot to have the camera on.
Right.
He's like, God damn you!
He's like, fuck.
So then he kind of bends this. The spike is thrown at Ben's foot. And it goes into it, and it kind of splits it open. It's this scene where, it's hard to explain if you're watching it on YouTube, but he bends the spike down as Victor Crowley runs at him and impales him.
There is no fucking way that works.
No, it's all a bit implausible. It reminded me of the shark's death at the end of Jaws: The Revenge. No.
Also, it kills Victor Crowley instantly. Well, temporarily, but instantly. And I kept waiting for him to, grab his head or rip his head off or something, because they stand there for a pretty good amount of time with the spike through him.
Yeah, doesn't he just cough blood in his face?
Yeah, he does. That was pretty funny. Yeah,
I like that.
But he ripped his foot in half.
Yeah,
pushing the stake. It's like, no fucking way.
Yeah, man, that was brutal. And doesn't even seem to mind it that much. He kind of walks away in the next scene. I guess he's a little affected by it. But it also reminded me of Dog Soldiers, where the guy just runs right through a branch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in life, I don't think. Anyhow, they get away and they find the boat from the Freddy Krueger Blair Witch opening. They get the boat and paddle away. The music here reminds me a little bit of the original Friday the 13th. It's kind of like a pleasant moment from an after-school special. It's a little too peaceful and, serene. But we all know this dude isn't dead. So at this point, I think we're just waiting for it. He says, hey, we're alive. And she's grabbed and pulled underwater. And I'm going to stop saying which Friday the 13th everything reminds me of, but it's part 1. So I guess her legs get stuck in vines during the time Victor goes to the boat he rips Ben's arm off and he uses it to go in the water to try to help pull her out, which I thought was pretty clever. This guy's a cheeky little bitch. This guy.
He is. He's pretty funny. He's got a
I
sense
think
of
you're
humor.
right. He's in it for himself. He's here for a good time. But anyhow, she goes up. She sees Ben's armless, bloodied body, who I guess might be dead. And Victor Crowley screams in her face, and the movie kind of ends with like some Incubus Corn 2000's rock, and that's it.
But like
Marilyn Manson.
Mid
Oh, was it
scream.
Marilyn Manson? All right, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Mid scream though, I thought something happened. I thought the movie cut off because the way the movie ends, it's like she's screaming and that's it. And
then it's Marilyn Manson. Yeah, I thought it was pretty abrupt, but it's a
Yeah.
quick movie. It's only about, I don't know, 80, I don't know, I think it's under an hour and a half.
84 minutes, I think. I think it was 84.
bonus points for not being overly long and padding the movie out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie really doesn't fuck around. I mean, it goes from A to B to C to D, and
The one scene Peter complained about was like 90 seconds.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I don't have a lot of complaints. The one thing that I'd like to say about this movie is kind of interesting, I thought, in the commentary that Adam Green, the director, said he thought of this movie was conceived when he was 8 years old, and he went to summer camp, and they said, "Oh yeah, that's a Hatchet. Don't go in that cabin. Hatchet Face is there." And he's like, "Whoa, what's that?" He's like, "Yeah, don't worry about that." So this 8-year-old kid came up with this story of who Hatchet Face was. 20 years later, it's turned into a movie. Much like The Evil Dead or Dog Soldiers, this was a labor of love and took a lot of years, and they really wanted to do it right. And a lot of the good horror movies are like that. Somebody who loves horror movies, who puts everything into it, has a small budget, and makes it work.
Yeah.
I'm shocked it only has a $1.5 million budget.
Yeah, $1.5 million.
It's another movie like Dog Soldiers where they put all the money into the kills.
Yeah, and they got Beef Blur, and they got some really solid people, and a lot of people called in favors because everybody really felt good about the movie because it was coming at a time, like I said, there's a drought of good slasher films from the 80s, and this was one of them.
I have always really enjoyed this movie. It's quick, like we said, 84 minutes. It doesn't really fuck around. We get introduced to the characters. They get to where they're going. They start getting killed off. Not a lot of backstory. Practical effects are really impressive. Maybe a little bit more could have been fleshed out. Maybe it could have been played a little bit straighter. But I don't really have too many criticisms of this movie. I think the comedy was really funny. It was a little, it was, in the realm of Grandma's Boy and Not Another Teen Movie, a little bit, I don't want to call it slapsticky, but I don't know, on nose or whatever. It just worked for the time period. And I still think the jokes land now.
Yeah.
I think it's all still funny. So I'm going to go with I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay. So before I do my rating, I just want to say the body count is 9, and that is our 9th highest total also. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, 9's a pretty solid amount. This is our 25th movie.
Oh wow! All right.
Top third. Yeah.
If you want a slasher flick, a new age slasher flick, throwback to the 80s, you're not going to find one better than this, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, along those lines, I found this movie, I thought the humor landed. I thought the first half hour had a lot of jokes that landed, and then the killing started, and the kills were awesome. It was quick. I didn't feel like there was any extended moments where they were wasting time or padding it, and so I'm also giving this a 4.
All right. I feel like I don't have much to say because you guys kind of said everything I would have said. I think that the kills are unbelievable. They're really, really good. It's quick, it's fun, it's entertaining. I think some of the jokes landed for me, others did not. I think I would have liked to have seen more guy drinks his own urine, or my name is Ben, you have 2 names, and you go off on that a little bit more. But when they landed, they landed. When they didn't, they didn't. But I thought it was really entertaining. I'm not going to go to 4, but I'm going to give it 3.75. But since I rate lower on the low side, I think that's pretty good. I think it's probably in my top 5 of the 25 we've done.
Yeah, historically, Peter ranks the movies the lowest out of us. So.
And I just looked up Rotten Tomatoes Hatchet score.
I'd be curious. What is it?
Critics reviews?
Critics.
Yeah.
The critics reviews. Edit the rest of that where I was stammering about. The critics reviews.
Leave it in.
They gave please. They gave it 56%.
The critics?
The critics. The users. I saw 56%. I'm like, the users are going to give this like an 85, 90, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The users gave it a 45%.
What? No way.
IMDb
Nonsense.
gave it a 5.7 out of 10.
No, this
That's
movie's way better than
nonsense.
that. We're all in agreement on this. This isn't like our last two movies. Like, we're all in agreement. This is a good movie.
That's
Yeah.
insane. Like, I cannot believe that it's that low.
This is like our
What?
fourth highest rated movie we've done.
I mean, what are people going there to see? Like, do they want to see Kane Hodder in a Hallmark movie? Like,
Apparently.
Christ.
Right.
All right.
It's called Hatchet, and there's a killer, and he's ripping people up. It's a fucking slasher flick. What do they fucking want? What do they expect? It's not like the Friday the 13th were highbrow.
Right.
I wonder if because it was coming off, like I said, the Japanese horror movies were there, and all these movies were doing different things. And maybe people were like, "Well, this isn't the horror that I know. This isn't what I'm used to." I don't know. I don't
know.
understand
Like,
why
well, this
didn't-
was like, when did House of a Thousand Corpses come out and The Devil's Rejects?
around this mid 2000s, right?
Yeah, I think it was around the
The
same
Devil's
time.
Rejects,
Yeah.
2005. So,
Year
like, were
before.
people looking for like a Rob Zombie film?
And House of a Thousand Corpses is 2003.
Right. Like, did they expect Rob Zombie, or did they expect something like Scream?
I think they probably expected Scream.
Or maybe they expected one of those stupid movies that I mentioned at the beginning, like the Prom Night remake or the Boogeyman remake or
I don't
the
know. It
Fog
feels like
remake.
It feels like the people must have been like, well, this isn't Rob Zombie over the top serious, a bunch of hillbillies. It's too funny for that. And then the Scream people might have been like, well, this isn't highbrow enough for me.
Right, this isn't meta at all.
You're right.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was enjoyable as hell. I liked it.
All right, so we are Three Basket Cases on all social media and Three Basket Cases podcast at gmail.com. That's the number 3, not spelled out. My turn to pick a movie. So I'm going to take us back to the 80s. It's been,
yes,
it's been
please.
4 episodes. I'm going to go a little mainstream on this one, but this is a good one. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Ooh,
Nice.
the original. Okay.
2010 remake, right?
Part 6. No, just kidding. Original 1984. I would not do part 6 to you guys. Yeah.
All
Can
right,
I read?
right on.
Can I read one review here?
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Okay, Farrah R. Fuck her. Awful story, unlikable characters, laughable visual effects.
What?
Leave nothing to enjoy about this low-budget horror movie. Fuck her. And she's got a Jurassic Park emblem in her review.
Visual effects were awesome, and I liked most of the characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, she probably has a Jurassic Park 3 emblem. Yeah, I don't know. Fuck her.
My favorite Predator is Predator 2.
Right.
All right. So, yeah, that's all we got for today. We'll be back with Nightmare on Elm Street. So, thanks for listening, everybody, and we will see you soon.